Well, this is one of my favorite topics about retirees and what they can do to be smart when they retire, because it's a big life change. So, the first thing that I recommend is keep in mind your retirement funds need to continue to grow. Just because you retire doesn't mean that you should run and put everything into cash. Yes, you're going to be living off of that money, but you just need to adjust your investment strategy. Perhaps you don't need to abandon it entirely. You still need to let it grow. So the smartest retirees don't put everything in cash, and that even includes if you are getting proceeds from a pension or an annuity that are coming to you in cash. Smart retirees know that they need investments to keep up with inflation. So, for example, what we do in our portfolios is we set up the retirement waterfall, where 1 to 2 years of needs are in cash or money market, but then there's a pool of conservative investments for slow growth, and then a pool of more aggressive investments for continuing growth. So continuing to let it grow is an important aspect that smart retirees know to do. Number two, if you are charitably inclined, if you donate to charity anyway on an annual basis, then using your RMD, your required minimum distribution, as a donation to charity, it's called a QCD, qualified charitable deduction. That is so smart, guys. It's something I love to do for retirees because here's what happens. You use that required amount that you are told you have to take this amount out this year, right? By the way, these are in tax deferred accounts. So the IRS wants you to take money out so they can generate the tax revenue. Okay. So you get that notice that says you have to take out X number of dollars this year. Well, what you can do is you can designate that as a QCD. You can designate that to go straight to the charity, never touches your hands. You do not pay tax on that. The charity does not pay tax on that. They get a donation. You don't have to add it to your income. Win-win on both sides. And the IRS is happy to tick off the box and say, yep, you satisfied your RMD, all is good. So a very smart thing that retirees do if they are subject to RMDs. The next one is, people will love to hear this, spend it. Enjoy the money. You've saved it for years and years, and part of the point is for you to be able to enjoy your retirement lifestyle. Now, what I mean by that is there's an interesting study done about the 3 stages of retirement. And I don't love these titles, but they are descriptive. The first 10 years of retirement tend to be called the go-go years. This is when retirees are most active. They're going for travel that maybe they have put off. They are going to visit family, friends, check off things on that bucket list, and basically enjoy that money. That's the first 10 years called the go-go years. Then you get to the next 10 years of retirement and you slow down a little bit. Maybe it isn't practical to be running around the world. You're still doing things, you're still out there, but it's a little bit slower go. And that's not only with the activity, but that's also with the spending. So maybe you are visiting family closer to home, or you're enjoying some hobbies that aren't quite as adventurous or expensive. So generally, the spending needs also slow down a little bit in that next phase. And then finally, the third phase they call the no-go years. And that doesn't mean that you're not doing anything, but that also, again, means a step back in activities. So you might be staying at home and enjoying seeing friends that come to you when you are in your 90s and beyond. That's what they mean by the no-go years. So retirees who are newly retired and in those go-go years, sometimes I have to encourage them to live those retirement dreams and to be able to spend it and enjoy it. That's a smart thing to do. Why? You don't want to have regrets, guys. So retirees who go for life goals during the first few years of retirement report fewer regrets than those who are fearful. The key is to be realistic and to still be on a budget even when you retire. Have well-defined priorities, get full enjoyment and satisfaction out of what you spend. Keep that in mind as you retire and as you spend. The next thing that smart retirees can do is to think about contributing to education savings plans for grandchildren. This is relatively new that they have changed a few of these laws, and it's so cool. It really benefits retirees. So it's always been a good idea. If you have grandchildren, you're really invested in their education, want to support that, 529 college savings plans are a great way to do that. As a grandparent, your contributions to a 529 don't affect needs-based financial aid. So that's pretty cool, unlike the parent's contribution, which can affect that financial aid eligibility. So the grandparent loophole is that you could contribute to a 529 and not affect their eligibility for financial aid. Another new thing that just is this year, 2024, is that 529 funds can now be partially rolled into a Roth IRA for the child. And Phil's talked about this before. So if the child doesn't end up needing the funds for college, maybe they get a full scholarship, maybe they don't go to college, maybe they have another life path, you can still use those 529 funds to help to fund their future. There are limitations on how much 529 money you can roll over into a Roth, so you need to be aware of that. But for retirees who place a high value on education, there are lots more opportunities now to help out the grandkids that are very smart things to do. And the last tip here that I've observed recently, a lot of interest in this, is Roth IRA conversions. So most retirees have saved the bulk of their retirement money into tax-deferred accounts. This would be a traditional 401k, 403b IRA, right? You get the tax break when you put the money in, which everyone loves. But as Ed Sloth says, you might be building a tax time bomb. So when you get a little bit older into the retirement years and you realize, maybe I need to think about how this money will transfer to my heirs eventually. Maybe I'm going to have some extra in these retirement accounts that I'm not going to need. What effect might that have on my heirs, on my beneficiaries? And then that's where you take a look. Am I leaving them a tax time bomb? That's not what I intended. Maybe I should think about a Roth conversion. So looking at maybe I want to pay the taxes on a Roth conversion and therefore leave a tax-free gift to my heirs. That's one of the best gifts that you can leave. So how that works is that you would look at, for example, I do this with clients all the time. With an advisor, I have this much in tax-deferred accounts. What would it cost me to pay the taxes now, convert that to a Roth, and leave a tax-free gift to my beneficiaries? It's not an all or nothing proposition. Sometimes you can do it in chunks each year. Sometimes you could do one account perhaps, but not another. And there are lots of other things that affect your decision to do this. But when it is the right decision, this can be a really smart thing to do, to think about the impact that you are leaving on future generations.